wisdom today as we make decisions. We pray for that direction, that godly wisdom would abound, and we're again mindful of those, our first responders, those that wear a badge and uniform and protect those, our constituents. We'll pray for their safety. So I do this prayer, we pray in the name of Christ. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes were sent out for May 18th, 2026. If everyone's had a chance to review those, we can accept the motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Jeff Stringer? Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blake Gerber?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Okay, on to financials. We had a payroll totaling $339,512.54 and claims totaling $1,072,896.88.
Motion to approve the financials.
Jeff Stringer? Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blake Gerber?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Sheriff, you're up.
Alrighty, a few things here on the agenda. Inmate population, we have 54 total inmates in jail. 21 of those are pretrial circuit, 20 pretrial superior, 10 DOC, and 0 F6. A couple of updates. Update on the clean out. Jeremy did get a hold of me last week. They're trying to schedule with Brickley's to come out and do the digging. I think there was a little setback accident with Brickley and a dump truck, so we're trying to get a date. We're hoping to get that going this week and get that done and off the list. So I know the light pole construction, I gave you guys the update. I just got a release form from Wright Insurance today to sign to get payment on that so that I can submit payment for that work to be done. So hopefully that'll be done as well. I do have one other thing to cover. I know that Commissioner Springer reached out to me, asked, I have with me AJ Campbell, the chief deputy, to give an update on the animal shelter. And then we also have body cams to cover. So I'll let him give an update on the animal shelter first, and then we'll discuss body cams.
Thank you. Since my last update with the animal shelter, I've learned that 40% of the animals that are surrendered to the animal shelter come from county residents. Last year, that number was about 1,000 total surrenders, so 40% of that was from the county. We had 8 applicants for open director spot. 7 showed up for their interviews. Kyle Morphew was accepted as the director. Kyle has worked at the animal shelter for 10 years. He's also lieutenant with the Bluffton Fire Department. He was a big part of running the animal shelter while we were looking for a new director and the other staff member was on maternity leave. Since Kyle was already an employee, that left an opening for a staff member. Stephanie Steinbrenner, who was another applicant for the director spot, was offered a position and she accepted. She has experience working with animals from the Northeast Indiana Veterinary Emergency Service Hospital called Knives. She's also a former intern with the shelter, so she was up to speed on how the shelter operates. We've had a number of meetings where we continue to work with Liz Stamper of the Best Friends Animal Shelter. It's a national organization. We're trying to tackle her priority list of things for the betterment of the shelter. One of those is preventing the spread of diseases. And in order to do that, it's been recommended that any animals that comes into the animal shelter be vaccinated. The cost to vaccinate an animal is about $5 per animal. At 1,000 animals a year, that's about $5,000. The partnership with the Friends of the Animal Shelter is going to cover the cost of all of that for about $5,000 a year. The city's working on creating ordinances that allow for a trap, neuter, and release program for cats and a thing called Community Cats. It's a program for free roaming cats to be evaluated, sterilized, and re-released back into the community in which they came from. The county's trying to work to match ordinances to match the cities. As far as day-to-day stuff goes, Kyle and his team's working to rebuild the shelter's relationships with the Friends of the Animal Shelter a volunteer organization that raises money and offers to help clean and volunteer services. He's opened the doors back up to the public for walk-ins. The last director closed the door to the public. Nobody could come in and look at animals or surrender animals without an appointment. He's also working on getting animals back online for an adoption. That does include some new shelter software that we've been trying out, two different programs. They kind of integrate that back into social media without a lot of input from the animal shelter staff themselves. Our next meeting is July 13th, where we'll start working on next year's budget. Anybody have any questions about the animal shelter? Yep, I think we're working on that. I think some of that is maybe misinterpretation on what the animal control officer is allowed to do or to go out with. Typically, right now, traditionally, the animal control officer always calls the deputy to go out there. So we're working to maybe make some changes on when they need a police response and when they don't.
Might have lost him.
You guys go to other counties like Huntington or DeKalb or any of the other organizations to see what their procedures, protocols are?
Yes.
And see how you mirror or match or integrate something similar to that, so we're not.
Yes, this task force includes a lady from the Humane Society in Allen County and also the director of the animal shelter from Huntington County. So we're working with them to kind of align our things. A lot of it comes down to is Allen County has a way bigger budget and a lot more staff.
Yes.
So
I was in a meeting, especially everybody in DeKalb and Auburn County, or Auburn City, we're talking about how much money
Yeah.
Allen County has and what they do there too.
their staff is like 40 people, so we're running with 3.
Okay. I have no other questions.
I don't think that's been an issue.
No, I think the new director is a breath of fresh air, and we're working through some positive changes.
Good direction ahead.
Okay. You're welcome. I had submitted, or we have submitted, body cam contract renewal. Our previous, body cams was included on a contract. It's all of our deputies, wear body cams out in the field. Our previous contract included in-car camera systems. We need to update the body cams, not the in-car camera systems at this time. So I had submitted, or through Lisa's office, the contract stuff, sent that to Ted. I sent it out, I believe that all got sent out to the commissioners. Jeff and Ted. So, there is a mix of products and services. We split those out and provided those to Ted today. Of the products and services, the cost is about $115,000. Larger portion of it is the products and services, the cloud storage, the services, the updates. The way our program worked for the last 5 years is after 3 years, we get new body cameras as part of that cost for the remainder of that contract. It's very similar, other than it doesn't have the in-car camera systems, what we have in our cars, although there is a shelf life of service on those. I think they're starting to get into like cell phones and come out with a new model and won't service previous ones, but we've had 0 issues with our in-car camera systems, and we don't feel that those need replaced. Submit that to you for approval. Our contract does end currently on June 10th.
Correct.
before the ones we have now. So we're just looking for approval as long as Ted, you can add anything you want to it based on what you reviewed today. They kind of sent it in quote form with partial terms and agreements on there, but we kind of cleared that up a little bit today. Ted, if you want to add anything to it.
Yeah, I think it's important for everyone to recognize that the contract is actually a 5-year renewing contract. It's for the ongoing services, which is computer storage and things like that. And if I've got this backwards, Sheriff, please feel free to correct me, is $6,681 per year. On the equipment, then the renewals on an annual basis are $16,393 per year. So what the sheriff is projecting and requesting approval for is really $23,000, give or take, per year for these 1 services and 2 equipment. We've reviewed the contract, shared with the sheriff's office our standard terms and conditions. They've shared that with the Motorola representative who didn't have an issue with that. I mean, they know what counties in Indiana are required to do with E-Verify and the standard conditions, so we have that. And then today, we got their standard customer agreement. I just haven't had an opportunity to review that. So in conjunction with the sheriff, I think we are asking the commissioners to approve the request for proposal coming from Motorola and the terms and conditions subject to legal review, if you're comfortable in doing that.
Yeah, I just don't like reoccurring contracts without, you're gonna change administrations, somebody else comes in, and they're tied to a contract. I'd like to see it, at least, they notify us way in advance, like 6
Well,
months or 3
we
months.
didn't, we have the option not to renew with them.
Right,
Motorola, fortunately and unfortunately, owns Spillman, which is our shared system throughout the county for our records management system. So our body cams, our in-car camera systems, all are owned by the same company. So they integrate with our systems, they integrate with how our calls generate and how those videos for calls of service are stored and all those type of things, and how we produce the video for the public if anything needs redacted for privacy reasons and those type of things. So, you know, because we looked at the thing, if we go out and get other bids for other cameras, then we may, most likely are going to fall into something that doesn't integrate with the current systems that we have. So that wasn't even on the table for us. I can't tell you, I mean, it's not official. The sheriff-elect for, at least the Republican sheriff-elect was a part of this as far as the decision-making. So I know that this is, if he is the one that becomes the sheriff, this is something that he will have. I can tell you, we've had them for 5 years. We've had them longer in the jail. They've been phenomenal in the jail to cut down on liability issues and claims made against correctional staff. That's where we got them first, and then we put them in 5 years ago on the road. Yeah, I think that the accountability, the protection for the officers, the liability, what it provides to a case as far as evidence and those type of things is a much needed. It's,
the service, I'm not really concerned. I'm just concerned regarding new people coming in,
Sure.
being tied to something, so.
For you, Commissioner Gerber, the standard terms that we try to impose on a contract, if there is an annual renewal, is to provide a 30-day termination by the government entity or a notice of non-renewal 30 days prior to the annual renewal. I can tell you, just looking at it, that the Motorola standard terms include those same provisions. So there is a way for, if the new sheriff, whoever that may be, or a new officer decides that the Motorola product does not do, there is that 30-day termination period that doesn't require a specific element of breach.
Correct. And as far as costs, what we were paying in the last 5 years was about $35,000 a year, not including the in-car camera systems. Our payments we're reducing that down to 23. It's a one-time payment per year for 5 years. That makes sense. So again, we're just looking for,
Need an approval today then.
Yeah.
We're looking for approval from your standpoint to meet the statutory requirements for the contract, as long as it is, obviously Ted's job is to make sure that we're meeting all the elements of the ordinance that's in place for the contract, so.
No problem with that.
Yeah, I think we need a motion to approve this.
I'll make that motion. Jeff got it?
Jeff Stringer? Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blake Herbert?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
One last thing on my agenda. We are looking at renewing, they're not called contracts, with the school systems for our school resource officers. The way we have always clarified those is they're agreements, school resource officer agreements with the school. I just want to make sure that I'm appeasing the right track here. I did have a brief conversation with Ted about this. We do 2-year agreements with the schools for the SROs. These agreements typically were brought before council because it's a financial, it doesn't cost us anything other than when we did start SROs years ago, the council added extra deputy to the department for each school. The council assumed the cost of when they're not in the school. So SROs, the way it's broke down is the agreement is more of what we agree with the school as far as what the roles and responsibilities of a school resource officer are. In that agreement, we give them actual costs down to the dollar of what it costs to employ a deputy with our department. And the agreement just states that they're going to reimburse the county 70% of their pay. They're in the school 70% of the time. Council agreed to assume that other 30% cost in the summer when we added those deputies. So again, they're called agreements, not contracts. I'm not a lawyer. Ted is.
I'd suggest you still bring that back before the commissioners to have the commissioners as the executive branch execute those. If we didn't do that 2 years ago, I don't recall.
We didn't do it 2 years ago, so.
Yeah, so I would
And
suggest
But
that,
that was about the time when you guys created the ordinance of doing that. It was typically brought before council because it's a financial thing. They're getting reimbursed for that cost because that deputy is part of the budget, so. But if you want them to bring before, we'll submit those probably here in the next week or two. We did meet with both schools. Verbally, they're both in agreement that the cost increase that we factored in for the cost of those deputies is fine. Both schools are taking them to their next school board meetings for board approval. Once those come back, we'll go ahead and submit our end so that we can align the two once they get approval and we get approval. And those will be for 2-year contracts for both Southern Wells and Norwell. So,
thank you.
unless there's any questions, I don't have anything else.
Nope. I think we're good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Witt?
Evening.
Evening.
From a project standpoint, we are ready to do the final acceptance letter for County Home Road and then get the final information, final estimate done of pay items and start the final closeout process. Meridian Road, last week, our order of pipe came in for the dry pipes. We were hauling dirt up last week and we'll continue to do so this week, keep grading so we can get those pipes installed. Met with a property owner at 8 North and Meridian Road. We're gonna do a little bit additional tree trimming from a site distance standpoint. It was brought to our attention by one of the neighbors, so we got a little additional tree trimming to do that we weren't originally planning on, but it's needed. Patching operations are continuing for the roads that will be chip and sealed for the striping contract. The south end is done. We have to finish north end of the county for that. And we're planning on starting on chip and seal here in a few weeks so we can meet that contractor with the striping contract, and then we will stop and then do a few other items we need to complete and then go back chip sealing in July. We did have a customer service concern come in for 800 South on the west side of State Road 1, so if anyone gets a chance to go take a look at it. Our crews went down there and clipped that road. We did a little bit different than we have the first couple we did. So instead of making one pass and trying to clip it all at once, we went by and made 2 passes. knocked stuff off the top, and then we were able to set a better grade. And one of the neighbors who called in about it was kind enough to call back and say, thank you for what you did. They'd sent us some pictures where water was sitting along those edges, and it made sense to go out there and clip it. So it's kind of nice. We got it done and made some folks happy and learned a new way of doing it in the process. I would like to get permission to talk with Ted to work on an ordinance for equestrian-powered traffic. If you get a chance, County Road 300 South from Veracruz to the county line, 800 East, and then 800 East through there is starting to see equestrian traffic. And we're starting to see what appears to be buggy ruts appearing. Our neighbors in Adams County, Allen County, Elkhart County, LaGrange County deal with this, and I think it's a good time to get ahead of it. What the ordinance would be for is plating those buggies, and the revenue would come in from those buggies to go into an account to repair those roads. Horseshoes are a very destructive thing to roadways, especially now. A lot of counties have tried getting a material that's harder than the limestone that you normally see, and that usually is steel slag. Well, in response to that, the folks with that traffic or those vehicles have started putting carbide tips on their horseshoes. So kind of like one-upping each other, and it continues to do some very destructive damage. So I would like to get something started so we can stay ahead of it. Not a big thing right now, but in the event it becomes a big thing, we are prepared for it, and we can continue to pay for those repairs.
What kind of cost is normally associated with a plate for such a vehicle?
Depending on the county, anywhere from $150 to I think $230. Some of them are doing it in a 10-year increment, so they are not completely matured yet in their ordinance.
Are any of the counties bagging horses?
Not to my knowledge. I've been fortunate enough to work on projects that in some smaller towns up north, the street crews were kind enough to explain to me how much time and money they spend cleaning out storm drains. So it's not a thing, but it probably wouldn't hurt in the future.
I'm just thinking that we need to be more proactive. I'm
Okay.
glad you're bringing this to our attention because we know we have an influx coming in from the east.
Yes.
So just FYI, I appreciate you reaching out and let's get something started. Okay.
We had a pleasant surprise last week. We were giving a May 27th ship date for our new 4-post vehicle lift. It showed up on the 27th. And Gasoline Equipment Company is working with the lift guy, Jim Welsh, to get those installed. I have not seen the date yet. That was as of Thursday. We did fill our open operator position. We had a heavy equipment operator position open from retirement, and we have filled that within. We have promoted. As I've mentioned previous, we interviewed 3 internal and 4 external. And then one of the external candidates will be coming in to backfill that driver slot. So he'll be coming in off the street. Will not have a CDL, so he'll begin at a pay grade that is below the CDL rate until he has that, and he is aware he has 160 days from time of employment to get it done. We've reached out to the last CDL trainer we used and getting that set up in the meantime. His first day will be the 15th. And then I believe we have one right away from the Planning Commission?
Correct. We have one right-of-way from the area plan. This is for a property located on County Road 500 West, currently owned by the 7 Days Family Farms LLC. I'd ask for approval of this easement and right-of-way agreement.
Make that motion.
Jeff Stringer? Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blake Miller?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Nate?
Good evening.
Need-
All right. For permits this evening, we've got a couple utility permits. The first being Frontier doing underground fiber on the north side of Markle along Marzane Road. The second being REMC doing a directional bore under the roadway on 1100 West in Jackson Township. And then the third permit is actually a road cut permit by a local farm operation. They are looking to put in a host pipe for spreading manure. So it's just a pipe to convey the drag line. Recommending all three of these for approval this evening.
Make that motion to allow that.
Jeff Stringer? Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blaine Gerber?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
All right, next on the agenda, had a Liberty Center paving project. This is something that I've been looking at doing since last year. The streets down in Liberty Center are just showing an awful lot of wear, stuff that's gonna be hard to correct with just chip seal. There's a little bit of drainage problems. So we've went down and taken a look at that, and I'd like to go down there and do kind of a mill and resurface type project, restore some of the cross slopes and do a little bit of wedge and leveling in places that are holding water. There's one corner in particular that's real bad. So this is just something that I was looking at putting out for bid and using our annual hot mix asphalt budget to address. We did similar projects in Kingsland and then up in Ossian at Dyer and McNeil last summer, or last fall, actually. So just looking at doing something similar to that. Just kind of looking for any feedback, if that's okay. I was hoping to get that out for advertisement maybe next week. I don't think the issues that we were looking at on the side streets were necessarily related to the Regional Sewer District project. There were some issues along County Road 300 West. That is not a portion that I was looking to resurface. These would be like the smaller side streets. I think the issues on 300 West, we can probably tackle with our own forces and restore before that gets chip sealed the next go around. At least that's my hope. But these were primarily on the side streets.
Sure did.
Well, I may take a look at that then to possibly address the areas that are not going to be touched by this work.
You might want to take a look, because it was a problem for us.
Okay. Well, I know of the issues down there, but I kind of had thought that ship had sailed as far as getting any remedial work done. But if you guys think,
I thought that was all finished.
I thought it was too, but it probably wouldn't hurt to ask
okay,
if we can see a connection anyway.
yeah, I'll get with LA and see what I can get figured out.
But other than that, I'm okay with bidding it.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Project updates, Bridge 71 on 200 West is scheduled to close next Monday and work to begin on that bridge replacement. Anticipated completion is the end of October. And then pictured below there, you'll see an aerial shot of progress on Bridge 54. Not all of the work is captured in that one photo, but the concrete boxes that were installed prior to the last meeting have been backfilled, and they've started to do some of the grade work and fill over top of those. Kind of some of the stuff you can see going on the bridge there. They're finishing up form work for the coping and for the closure pours at the pier stems. And then I thought that they were going to start tying deck steel last week, but when I was out there, they were just barely getting started with it. There was a delay in getting the iron workers out there to actually start tying that steel. So they said that that was going to be a main focus this week.
Are we still on timeline?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, the biggest variable in the timeline on a project like this is actually just getting all the foundation work up out of the water. So
Right.
we're well past that now. So yeah, I talked to the foreman out there about that last week, and he said, I was kind of sweating it there for a little bit, but I think we're in pretty good shape now.
It's looking great.
One other thing that I did not put on the agenda, but I thought about as I was sitting here, I had sent a note out a while back about an opportunity to possibly install some type of sensor and beacon on 700 North up where the train often sits on the tracks. I hadn't gotten a lot of feedback. Blake, I think you had mentioned I might reach out to Norwell to see if their transportation department kind of had any feedback on delays and stuff with the school bus routes, and if they had any interest in participating in that type of a project. I've not heard back anything from them. I did talk with someone from their department, and they said that really it would be a decision for the school board, so that they were planning on taking the information I provided to the next school board meeting. But I had reached out a week or a week and a half ago and not really heard anything back, so I don't know if that's made it before the school board or not. But the application window for a grant that would help cover a good portion of the costs associated with a project like this started today. So it's, I believe it runs through the first week of July, the application window. There's like a specific, like railway crossing safety type grant that this would fall into category-wise.
I mean, is there a risk or a cost to applying for it?
I don't think so.
I could reach out to Chad or Corey or Peterson, and I know all three of those. The other two I'm not real familiar with.
Okay.
I think in the past, the concern about allowing a department to reach out for grants was whether or not there would be additional funding required from the county. So I would think that if the county engineer wants to move forward with that, you could allow him to do so, and then he could always come back if he finds out that there is some financial obligation on the county.
So I don't see that there would be anything above and beyond what I have access to currently. It's not a large cost type project, but it would be something. The sensors are kind of subscription based, so there would be like a reoccurring annual.
Right.
So,
Something similar to the bridge on 300 West, Truss Bridge.
yeah, but higher cost than that. So,
I'd be okay with you checking it out as long as no one here is objected.
okay.
Yeah, I would investigate it.
All right, and that's all I've got for this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim? Thanks, sir.
Doing all right? Great, good to see you.
This will be a very brief presentation. We received an increase last year, so that means this year, per our agreement, that we don't ask for an increase, so we are not. So we are asking for approval of our previous amount, which is $47,678. This has already been presented to the Adams County Commissioners and Council, and it's been approved. So I ask for that approval here from Wells County. As far as challenges, our biggest challenge is Medicaid. They basically have frozen all replacements. We have like 6 openings that we cannot fill. So that definitely affects our revenue, and we don't really know when that's going to change. We're supposed to hear about some type of announcement on the changes in the waiver policies and stuff in July maybe, but more likely towards the end of the year. And we'll see how it goes. So we'll wait patiently and adjust as we need to. We're a positive $12,785 whenever we can pay the bills and do what we need to do and come out money ahead. I'm pretty happy. It's a lot lower than last year due to the freeze. Obviously, we were at 216,000 positive last year at this time. And currently, we have 59 Wells County residents, and I think we have 50 Adams County residents. And that's down also because of all the factors going on right now. So that's all I have, unless you have some questions.
I'll make a motion to allow the $47,678.
Okay, I will second that motion. Yes.
Yes. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ted.
You have someone explain the National Weather Service Agreement accreditation?
I would say that would be the back row.
Thank you. Hello, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Evening.
So I'll start off with this. Back in March of this year, I applied with the National Weather Service for Wells County to be a storm-ready community. Wells County is the last of the 11 counties in the Northeast District 3 to achieve this. Some of the requested information includes information in reference to our Emergency Operation Center, emergency operations planning, coordination, and partnership development, as well as community preparedness. The Northern Indiana Storm Ready Advisory Board had reviewed our application and now recognizes Wells County as a storm-ready community. And once the Insurance Service Office, or the ISO, has been contacted, this recognition qualifies our county, or our community that have flood insurance, 25 community rating system points to cut their costs. So this is huge. So that'll help lower the National Flood Insurance Program premiums. But now, I would like to introduce to you Dustin Norman, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service Northern Indiana office.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for having me this evening. My name is Dustin Norman. I'm the warning coordination meteorologist at the National Weather Service office in Northern Indiana. So we cover down to Wells County and also portions of Ohio and lower Michigan. Just as kind of a little background as to what the Storm Ready program is, it was originally developed as a grassroots program at the Tulsa National Weather Service office, Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in 1999. So fast forward 27 years later, and it's evolved to over 3,000 communities across the nation, ranging from anywhere from cities to large industries to counties to even entire states are deemed storm ready. And what this is the initiative is to create industry standards for severe weather preparedness, communications, and community safety. And so some of the things that we look for with Wells County and others with determining whether or not they're storm ready is whether or not they have a 24-hour warning point, an emergency operations center. And so for this is like the 911 dispatch center. Utilizing redundant methods to receive our warnings and watches for the public, creating systems to monitor local weather conditions and radar, and training severe storm spotters and conducting annual preparedness and exercises. So I know when John hosts his LEPC exercises, I'm typically asked to go there and participate. And so that's some of the engagement that we're looking for with our local partners and then us at the federal level. So Really happy that Wells County has now made it to the club, and kind of fulfilled, this EMA district coalition. At least all the counties in District 3 are now storm ready. So super proud of that, and really appreciative of you guys' partnership.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So you have,
Yes. So, sorry, I actually forgot to present stuff. So here I have a certificate. Sorry. And I had already previously given John the photocopy of that. Here's a certificate, and on the background of the certificate is it's actually the Goshen Palm Sunday tornado. So where there was like 2 tornadoes on the ground, really famous photo. So pretty terrifying, actually. And then also a sign that we provide Storm Ready partners one sign. If your county wants more signs to stick up in other places, it's definitely a good PR to show, that your county takes weather preparedness seriously. But we provide you with this one sign that you can hang up wherever your pleasing is. And then obviously be able to purchase more signs at like $40. I can also give you a template. Some counties are able to print their own, and that's more than acceptable too.
so my request is if we could get a group picture over here off the wall or something with Mr. Norman presenting it to us, because this is a very special moment for Wells County.
I'm okay with
Any
that.
objections?
Good with that. No, none.
Wanna do it right now? Do it. Sorry, Jeff.
Commissioners hold the sign.
You want a picture on that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin. So good stuff for Wells County. Would you like me to go ahead and continue into the next
Please.
couple items?
Yes, sure, absolutely.
Okay, great. A few weeks ago, I emailed the 3 commissioners the comprehensive emergency management plan, and then Lisa, I believe, might have as well, and included Ted. Over the last couple months, I've been working on this plan, and it was formally written. The last formally written was in 2012 and updated annually. This plan was outdated and needed current information added as well as old information deleted. And then I was able to contact the Department of Homeland Security from their planning assistance, or from their planning team for the assistance for this plan, since I had never written one. And they sent a crew up here to our office and one day last month, and we sat down and went over everything. And they give me a small template, and I went from there and then turned around and had to resubmit my finished plan to them for basically their approval. But ultimately, it is you gentlemen that would adopt this plan and sign off on it. So here this evening, I'm asking, as your Director of Emergency Management, that you adopt this plan for our county.
Extremely detailed, and there's a lot of things that possibly could happen,
You're welcome.
rarely might happen, because there's some really details in here that, like, could that really happen here?
And
But
we've not had that. From,
I don't have any questions regarding it unless the other 2 commissioners have anything.
I do not, I think it's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, extremely comprehensive, and I would support it.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner.
So I'll make a motion to, unless you have additional questions, Jeff. I'll make a motion to accept the
We
plan.
have a motion.
Jeff Stringer? Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blake Gerber?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Yes, that was part of it. Not part of that, the next item on the agenda. I was gonna ask you about that, but didn't get to it. I didn't know if that was gonna be an issue or not.
There's a lot of this, I'm sorry, I'm not following. What are we talking about?
The next item on my agenda
Yeah,
for
there
you
were
was
two
the Wells
packets.
County,
Oh, okay,
this one.
okay.
The courthouse and annex action plan would be next.
Yes. So the next item is in March, during severe weather week, I came to you folks for approval to shut down and conduct a tornado drill in the annex and the courthouse, which was phenomenally done. However, after I got done with that, I'd started hearing employees say that it had been at least 15 years since we'd done one of those drills and how well it went. But there was also coworkers or county employees that were concerned that we didn't have written documents or plans for other emergencies. So, after conducting the drill with the newly written plan, it was, brought to my attention and so forth. So I spoke to Kurt Powell at the courthouse security and asked for his feedback, and he agreed that there had not been an incident action plan, and that we did need to standardize one. So I took the next 3 weeks and written this plan that you have all in front of you. And I also took it to the circuit court judge, Judge Kirchhoff, as also, and he has also reviewed it and adopted it as well, since it's a jurisdictional building. And it covers everything from tornado, fire, medical emergencies, floods, blizzards, suspicious packages, bomb threats, active shooters, hostage situations, chemical spill, gas leaks, electrical outage, severe weather, and natural disasters. So there was a lot of information compiled. I reached out to some of my other local directors of emergency management to get some of their thoughts and looked into it real well. And the plan that you have in front of you is the plan that I've written. Again, the head of security at the courthouse has given me his blessing, if you will. Judge Kirchhoff has also already signed off on the plan, and I'm here this evening to ask you gentlemen if you will do the same.
I'll make a motion to
We have a motion?
the emergency action plan.
Oh, for the courthouse and
For the
annex.
court act and
Courthouse and annex.
Was that a second, Jeff?
Jeff Stringer? Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blake Gerber?
yes.
Carries 3-0.
Thank you. So the last thing that I have for you gentlemen is, on May 15th, I attended a grant writing training put on by the Department of Homeland Security. And one of the things that they spoke about was the 2025 SHHP grants had not been released. That was a non-matching grant that I came to you for, you folks last year and requested permission to fill out. We did so, but with the amount of FEMA shutdown time, those grants have not been awarded yet. But the big thing is they advised us that sometime here in the first week or so of June, the 2026 grants would be posted for availability. And the reason that I'm here is that they're telling us that it may be as much as a 14-day open window, and I don't want to miss this opportunity. It is a non-matching grant, and I just want to get your approval to go ahead and when it starts, be able to fill it out. I'm being told that it was up to $150,000 per grant. There's 2 of them. It's the exact same grants that I filled out last year. So I'm here this evening to ask that permission, since they're a non-matching grant or a non-forward funding, for your permissions to fill those out when they come.
I think you should.
Yeah, I agree. You need that in form of a motion, Lisa? I'll make that motion.
Jeff Stringer? Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blake Gerber?
Yes.
Carries 3-0.
Gentlemen, thank you for all your time this evening. That's all I have for you. I know you're not used to hearing that much out of me, but it was all great news this evening.
Thank you for all your hard work on that.
It is much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, any monthly reports or miscellaneous business?
The monthly reports are in your stack.
Okay,
I don't have any miscellaneous business.
okay.
I left a message with Matt this afternoon regarding Purple Wave. So I'd like to get the results once Adams County's fulfills their contract or the time expires of how that works. And also the city of Fort Wayne. It's basically you have equipment and it's an auction site.
Yeah.
Kind of tie that back into CC with a couple of the vehicles we have over in the parking lot.
Okay.
We need to address that at some point in time, but maybe we need to move those to the highway department until we have a way or avenue, or if you have an avenue or a suggestion, since you came.
I don't really have, I don't know a lot about cars, so really the farthest I've gotten is I've contacted, like, and this has been a while back, I contacted, Family Ford just because I knew that the sheriff's department trades their vehicles in there, and that's where we purchased those vehicles from, and they gave me some trade-in values, and then I've had Kelly Blue hooked up, but that's about it. The other thing with those vehicles is they are fully equipped with lights and radios. So, you know, if we're gonna just be auctioning them, like, is that gonna be something that we're gonna need to take out? I need to figure out what the cost of that is gonna be. I haven't done that yet, cause I haven't been sure which route we're going. So, I don't know the cost to,
Yeah, this vehicle by itself is what we would auction. And there's an avenue and a protocol you gotta follow to dispose of county property. And I believe we have to remove the equipment. Is that
That's what I-
owned by the sheriff or is it owned by CC?
It's owned by them.
Okay,
And I talked to the sheriff briefly today, and he said, yeah, they have to pay to have all of theirs
Removed
before
and
they
so- yeah.
take them.
so I think, let's see what that Purple Wave does. Do you know what the date? Was it June 9th?
Don't remember, but I can double check. Should be coming up here next week or two, yes.
Okay.
It,
Yes.
yeah, he is. Well, but the other question is if they were being used for a similar purpose by another county agency, would we still have to remove the equipment out of those? Because I imagine that equipment is not just specific to Wells County, and no one else uses the same stuff. It's just a question, I don't know. That's my understanding.
Was John interested in one of them possibly, or?
yeah, one or both. He hasn't really said for sure how many. I think it probably depends on what he can get.
How old are the cars?
The Explorer is 2014, the Taurus is a 2013.
How many miles are on them?
The Explorer has like 219 and the Taurus has 160.
Would it be helpful to bring them out to us, at least have us, before we start tearing them down?
I would rather have you guys take a look at them, do it once over, unless,
Yeah,
Okay.
do one over and just see.
give us a reality check of what we're actually dealing with mechanically.
And I say this because we went through the inspection process, and our older trucks, we're past due, right? And so that's like the Purple Wave thing, like and I messaged you back. We have a lot of older equipment, like a 1994, two 1998s, a 2000, and then some of our equipment goes back to the 60s. So doing the Purple Wave is an option, but we're looking at equipment that I would like to try to explore, if there's a way to do some sort of consignment, through like a used equipment dealer, if there's a way to get a contract of that nature, I don't know if there is. And the only reason I bring that up is because look at what the other counties are trying to sell, our stuff's a little bit older, and coming from what I've seen sell at a state auction, we're gonna get scrap value for it, so.
Right.
You know, if that's the case, if we're looking at scrap value for us, and we're only looking at selling 2 vehicles, trying to do what's right to get the most amount of it, right? We don't wanna be paying premiums when we can just load it up, if there's a way to just load it up and scrap it ourselves.
Right.
We
Exactly.
cut that cost, so, that covers my equipment, but if her equipment that you have is still good enough to maybe transfer to John, awesome. If it's not, and we're looking at putting more into it than a Kelly Blue Book's for, then we're probably better off to get $20 for it and go down the road.
Right.
I mean, I know that's a hard, can sometimes be a hard pill to swallow, but we're already looking at a decent amount of equipment, it's got a low age on it, and the maintenance costs on it are something that weighs into future budgets that we don't really want to get into.
Well, it's also an asset on the books that we don't, I mean, if we don't need it
To
sitting
insure
over
it,
here,
to-
we might not need it sitting over there either. So wherever it's gonna get use, or, you know, maybe it is time to make that decision, but I think you getting possession of them and taking a look would be the good first step. Are we good with that?
Do they both run right now?
They don't start, but that doesn't.
'Cause they've been
necessarily-
sitting.
Probably just need
They've been
it.
sitting there. I
Right,
mean,
that makes
I
sense.
mean,
we only use 2 of them, so those ones are not used.
Right.
We jumped them before. Honestly, I think the last time we moved them was when we had to move them for street fair.
Right.
oh, okay, so if we could jump them and get them out to your place.
Send everything to me in an email, and I'll get it in front of Gary, and I'm off the next 2 days, but I'll
Okay.
have him
Yep.
work with you to get them out there, come out, jump them, and get them brought out to our.
Well, we'll let you guys handle that then.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
thank you.
Anything? Holly? Commissioner Stringer? Lisa? Commissioner Gerber? Mr. Storr?
For now,
No? Okay, well then we should have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Jeff Stringer? Yes. Michael Vanover?
Yes.
Blake Gerber?
Yes.
With
We are
that,
adjourned.
we are adjourned. Thank you.